That's item 21 that we're dealing with. Well, this,
Yes, sir. That was the executive
What's
session,
item?
item 21. That corresponds.
item number 4 and 21 are the same thing.
Right. Number
Okay.
21 was the executive session.
Okay.
Yeah, number
All right.
4 is the action item.
All right, so we've adjourned the executive session. We're back on item 4. You want to state what that is, and we'll entertain a motion for whatever the motion is. Item number 4. Who wants? You want to just? Or it's a one reading ordinance authorizing the sale and conveyance of the city's former fire station number 1, located on 209 South Karankawa Street, and within the TERS downtown, with approximately 0.86 acres of land, to TG 110 Incorporated in the amount of $325,000 for the future of affordable housing. This recommendation comes with the contingency that if the project for which it's being applied does not happen, then the city retains ownership of the building.
That's correct, Mayor.
And it takes 2/3 of a vote of the council,
That's right, Mayor, 6 votes.
and that needs 6 votes out of the council of 8.
Yes,
So we
sir.
have a vacancy in Rudy Garza's position. Okay, so we need 6 affirmative votes to move forward with it. Is there a motion to approve or disapprove? Anybody want to make a motion?
Mayor, can we have some discussion on it?
We've got to have a motion first. Is there a motion?
I move, Mayor. I move for approval.
All right, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second? You want to make a second? I'll second. All right, there's a motion and a second. We've had a substantial amount of discussion, but we can have some more. Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. In light of some of the situations that have happened in the city here recently with the FBI raiding the offices of Fulton Construction and the home of John LaGuardia, I think it's incumbent upon us to do things above board and ensure we do the things the right way. And I believe this property should go out to bid. Not to mention that John LaGuardia did have some dealings with this organization, I guess TG 110. He was a board member. And so that being said, I think this is probably not the best way to do this, doing this on a one reading type deal in order to dispose of this property. I also make mention that there was another tax credit company that did something similar down the street in a very similar sized property called Devontae at South Bluff that sold for a much higher price with a very similar sized property and a very similar set back. It's only 3 blocks away. So I think this is not the actual market value for this property. I think it's being sold underneath it. I think this is probably not the right thing to do, and I will be voting against it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments?
Yes, I've got one. I won't be supporting this item. It's disappointing, honestly. This is about fairness. This is about the fact that we have a competitive bidding process. And we're within legal guidelines to not use it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't. If we don't know, the question, unless someone can answer me, can we get more than $325,000 for this property? If we can't answer that here today, that's interest of the taxpayer, because this is city government. This should go out for competitive bidding. It's not right. I'm sorry. And I think we should be asking more questions about this in terms of the bidding process. So I won't be supporting this.
Okay, any other comments?
I'd like to ask some questions of staff, please.
Go ahead.
Have we had an appraisal on this piece of property?
Yes, sir. We had the property appraised in November.
And can you explain that appraisal? Was it an internal, external appraisal?
We use the external appraiser to appraise this property, and after the appraisal was completed, the property value was $325,000.
Right, the appraisers Smith, Kirkpatrick, and Klager LLC from Corpus Christi.
Okay.
So they used four comparison properties in the vicinity to generate that appraisal.
Okay, and the earlier comments, so there's a listing at Toronto right now for $13.81 a square feet, 1207 Mesquite on there, sales price $225,000 at $10 a square foot. Does that sound about right?
That's right, Councilman.
And they're valuing this at $12? So
Right,
it's-
there was a $10, a $13, 14. They picked the mean on this, which is $12.
Okay, so it's within comparable prices in the area.
We had it is, yes, the answer is yes, and this is a professional appraiser that did this for us. We did not appraise it. The city staff did not appraise it. A professional appraiser.
Have we done any other transactions lately that we didn't go out for public bid, or are we working on any transactions?
We're working on one where we're potentially going to do a land swap, which will be pretty narrowly set up. So
Did we put that out for bid?
we did not, no, we did not yet.
And if we don't go through with this, what are the consequences?
So if we don't, council does not approve this project, it will prohibit the developer to move forward with their 9% tax credit application to the percent tax credit application is valued at between $12 and $14 million from the state.
And one last question on there, it's an old fire station. When was the last time we used that fire station?
The fire station was decommissioned about 30 years ago.
Have we had any offers or any interest in that property in 30 years since?
No, sir.
Another couple questions.
Go ahead.
Have we ever put it out for sale, Michael, in 30 years? That you know of?
The fire chief's here. Chief, do you know if we've ever put this out for sale?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, Robert Rocha, Fire Chief. I can only account for the last 9 years, Councilwoman, and that has not formally gone up for sale.
Okay, so the answer to Councilman Smith's question just now would be, we don't know, because in your knowledge, we've not, in the last 9 years at least, put this out for sale to the public to make known that we're selling it, and somebody could develop it and do something. We don't know. I mean, that's just it. We don't know. So we've not put it out for sale. All right. Why are we not going through the competitive process that we typically go through?
We have the city has always had two options under state law. One is to do competitive, putting a piece of property out for sale. Another one that allows us to use this direct sale is that if there's a piece of property in a TERS, you can do a direct sale to a potential buyer. And in this case, we're recommending we utilize that allowable sale method. That's allowed by state law. We have to remember that a TERS is generally, you should only approve a TERS if the area is in blight,
Right.
slum and blight. And so a TERS helps to eradicate slum and blight. Well, we don't know what we could get for the property. What we do know is what this developer would do with it, which is affordable housing, which is sorely needed in the city. We have a backlog of 6,000 units of affordable housing. This is for the poor working families in Corpus Christi that work in the hotels downtown and other areas. So we know the intended use is actually the highest and best as recommended by the appraiser, and the city staff feels the same way, that housing, and in particular affordable housing, is a good project for the site.
All right, and have we, in the last 5 years that you know of, moved an item forward without this competitive bid process?
We know the city has not done that, but other cities have, including San Antonio.
Okay, but Corpus Christi is not.
Corpus Christi has not, but San Antonio has, and it is it's a state law that allows cities to use this sale mechanism.
Right, but this just came to us. I think my briefing was yesterday. And some other council members may have gotten a briefing Friday that may have been mentioned. So maybe in San Antonio, they had gotten more time in terms of whatever project that was. And I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think this is enough time. We also said that we could get up to $100, even $200,000 more. So why wouldn't we do that?
We don't know that we could get 200,000 more.
But we don't know that we couldn't. I mean, we don't know either way. And you know, honestly, I guess my point is we don't know. And that's why we go through a competitive bidding process that stands. So for that reason, I mean, I won't be able to support it. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Just for clarification, periodically, do you get calls? I mean, the city owns property all over, parcels of property all over town. The land department or whoever, city assets or city managers ever get inquiries about a piece of property out there, said, hey, you guys own a piece of property, you interested in selling it? Do you ever get those kind of calls?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Did you solicit them?
We don't solicit them, no.
But you do get calls if somebody's interested.
We do. We get calls, and we get calls to say, hey, do you have property? We need so many acres. The food bank's a good example of that, where they called us recently and said, hey, we need a certain number of acres. Do you have any in your inventory that you can help us with?
All right.
But
Just for
I'd like to-
clarification, excuse me, just for clarification, Mr. Hernandez brought up Mr. John Longoria. Is he still associated with the developer?
The developer's there, but I can speak for them. No, the answer is no, he's not.
He's not involved with it anymore?
He's not involved with them anymore.
All right, well, that clears up that issue then. Any other thing? We got a motion and a second.
I've got one comment, I just want to clarify, because it isn't, I'm sure people do call us up and say, what properties do you have? But in terms of the food bank, I was instrumental in that because I'm working. If the city could help them.
Well, we appreciate your close working relationship.
My point is, we're not realtors. The city of Corpus Christi we're not realtors. So people don't just call us up every day. And the food bank is an example of a partnership, not a phone call. And the other thing I'll say is, I think that it's important to note that we've not reached out to people such as Ed Rochelle, who are known for helping within the community and doing things like this. So, thank you.
All right, any other comments? There's a motion and a second. Any other comments? If not, there's a motion and a second to approve item 4. Ms. Huerta, you want, and this 2/3 means you got to have 6 out of 8.
That's right, Mayor.
All right, call the roll, please.
So for passage of ordinance number 4 on emergency, Mayor McComb,
Aye.
council members Roy, Mr. Roy, okay, Smith, Barrera,
Aye.
Guajardo,
No.
Hernandez,
No.
Hunter,
Aye.
and Molina.
Aye.
The ordinance passes.